Also dann, liebe Leute, auf geht's zum Finale. 5. Welcome to our the main meet. Hm. Haben wir einen Plan? Ich würde mal sagen, der Plan ist erstmal alle Ads ausschalten. Halt, stopp. Overclock. Manueller Fokus. Jetzt einfach auf das Ding drauf. Alter, ey, warum treffe ich so schlecht? Autschi, Autschi. Zumindest ist es nur Ratcher. Geh mal in Deckung. Ich würde mal so sagen. ...30 Damage, Autschi, Autschi. Guardschuh ist ziemlich down. Guardschuh schläft weiter. Heal dich mal selbst, danke. glaube, hier mal mich. Come on. Come on. Treff doch mal. Das ist ein Crit. Halt, ich kann noch mal. Das Ding ist schon fast Half-Life. Hier dich einmal. Gut. Und dann Attacke. Sagen wir es so, ich glaube die KI ist im Arsch. Sonst könnte das Ding einem doch eigentlich einen viel härteren Kampf liefern. As the Yama King's body crumbles, a cackling sound fills her. Once again, her broken body begins to knit itself back together. The flow of black ichor from her many wounds slows to a stop and reverse. The vicious fluid snaking its way back into the holes and ruptures that it poured from. Projections on top of projections. All aspects of our divine being shed as easily as a lizard sheds its tail. Her voice is ripe with mockery. You cannot harm us, meat, but you have amused us. Kinya holds her crowned head cocking to one side. Perhaps you are worthy of an audience after all, perhaps. Her voice trails off and her head tilts upward. From behind you, you can hear the pounding sound of approaching footsteps. As he falls into position behind you, Duncan's jaw drops open. Raymond Black steps forward, an expression of grim determination on his face. Oh shit, she's real. He does his best to stand his ground as Quinya turns to face him. His voice is full of awe and terror. I did this. I brought this creature here, speaks in the grim tone of a man on his way to the gallows. His complexion has gone grey as ash. My fault. My responsibility. The queen with 1,000 teeth cackled swiftly. It has returned to us. The tunnel builder, dare she take of my ascendancy? Ascendancy. The creature leans in towards Raymond, its spidery fingers waving hypnotica. Things rub, the things rubs below like the bell of a jellyfish, pulsing organically with the rhythm of a heartbeat. You will have a special place in our court, builder. You will stand by our side, exalted for all time, a living token of our unending rule, and an undying symbol of the folly of a man. I have been a fool, yes. His hands clench into a fist so tight that his knuckles go wide. Skin on his face is flushed with the effort of fighting through the stammer trembling with a grateful but I will not be your slave. I will stop you. The queen with 1,000 teeth leans forward, her movements full of alien grace, gaping crescent of her mouth parts into a ghastly smile. You can see row up and row of fangs. They run down her throat, overlapping layers, a bristled forest of glistening, sharpened enamel. I enter audience with you, queen. This man not. She stepples a finger. The hardened tips click against one another with a sound like grinding teeth. You are bold meat, but you are also correct. We do not break our promise, and you have earned some modicum of respect. Quenya turned her full attention back to you, and the smile widens. You can feel it, deep in your gut. It tunnels into you like a lamprey. Leaves you feeling empty and cold. In truth, you amuse us. Your persistence in the face of the inevitable is a pleasure to behold. And so we have to decide to grant you a rare honor. We offer you a deal. Go on then, I'm listening. Our term is simple. We want you to leave. Leave the chattel here to the fates. Forget about them. Acknowledge that they are ours and think of them no more. She gestures toward the door that you came in from. Leave the walled city and do not return. Accept that is our domain now and forever. In exchange, we will grant you 14 years of good. You will every wish fulfilled, your every desire granted. Charmed life from the moment you leave to the day that our deal elapses. You can do this? With a wave of our hand, we have summed the waters of fortune since the beginning of time. It's a trivial metaphors to divert them. So, will you accept our? No, but I have a counter proposal for you. Garrett browsed for. She looked surprised. Crouches slight. Counter proposal, you say? Out with them, meat. Well, tell us what you'll have. You are going to return to the place that you came from, and you are going to close the door behind you. And tell us, Lefting, what would we do such a thing? What do you have? Well, I won't kill you for one. This sounds like a fair enough offer to you. The meat threatens us. We are not impressed or amused. Sam, that you learn a lesson, Lefting. We'll teach you the price of impertinence. Her webs shimmer again, and the claws come out. Once again, her voice grows, the deafening roar. We will sucker your soul until the sun turns to dust. Ihr habt zu viele Leute, merke ich gerade. Control Mode. Aber zumindest so ist aufgeklappt. Nein, endlich. Das war doch ein schöner Cut. Und schon ist sie wieder down. As you watch the Yama King's broken Carter, conspirators and dispatch. Seconds later, all that's left of her is a cloud of rancid mist. Ooh, that was easier than I thought it'd be. Yes, she was thought worse than she let on, trying to trick us into taking a bet here. That doesn't mean that she won't come back. She won't come back. Well, all we have done is buy ourselves some time. I believe that you are correct. He points at a dinging terminal just in front of the time machine. Control console is just over there. We must move quickly. The fortune engine itself stands before you. An enormous, malevolent presence that fills the test chamber at. Raymond pushes forward, leaning into the study the control console with a look of determination on his face. I will close the rift. I just need... He bends over the tone. Following. His eyes start from read about reading. As you watch, blood drains from his cheeks. What's wrong? Destroy the thing before the compa... Can. He gauges at the technical readouts. The forge. There's one way flow of... There's a one-way flow of astral energy moving from the inner wallet city to the time. I know what that is. Howard wrinkles her nose and get a way look. She raised for a moment and speaks of. Can feel it too. The energy is coming from the people that she's feeding on, their essence, their spirits, for lack of a better word. She sways a while longer. Positive expression. If I destroy the mission now, it will collapse the tunnel. All of these people will have the better part of their essence, what makes them who and what they are trapped inside with her. Quiet, thousands of people connect. Do we have another option? Yes, someone could enter close the rift safely. People will be safe, restored to life in the real world. And what happens to the person? He stays there forever with her, for sure sake. There's no way out once the tunnel is closed. I'll do it. Just tell me what button to press. The old man stares. No, if anyone. It's to do this. It must be me. His voice strengthens, and you can see the old faces rising from within. The iron of your shirt. It will be me. Hang on a minute, Raymond. No, not him. My name is Edward Shank. I built this machine. Set this avalanche in motion. Whatever it means to or not. It's my responsibility to stop it. That is what it's all about. What's been about since the very beginning. Raymond, listen to me. You are too weak to this. Just tell me to do. No, the Jama King could return any moment. There's no time to teach you what to do. I must set things in motion. It must be me. That's a goodbye, Hood. Thank for you to coming to the world, Shelly. Goodbye, Dad. The old man flips the lever, steps into the machine. There's a flash of rain, and Raymond is gone.
Remember the day I took you and Duncan off the streets? I told you that the past is just a story. That if you can just accept that, your past loses all power over you. My past is a terrible story. I didn't expect it to end with redemption. Sometimes the debts of the past can't be repaid. But we do what we can. I have done what I can to right my wrongs. And I accept the consequences.
Aftermath. You depart from the prosperity chamber and are instantly caught up in a wave of refugees fleeing, with life struggling through the panicked wave of humanity. You are able to retract your steps and eventually reach Sheol. Although the typhoon has passed, the scene is wet and chaotic. The newly homeless crowds the streets, the desolate wandering, searching for missing loved ones, nursing injuries. Relief workers are already on the scene, provide blankets and medical aid. Rescue personnel carry the stunned and wounded to safety. The entry area has been corroded off by the HPF by a Knight Errants officer, and the medically peacekeeping force attempt to maintain order. You merge from Kunlun Walled City to bustling clusters of activity, refugees huddling together, staring back at their lost homes, government troops still deploying from armored personnel carriers, newsmen setting up remote camera feeds while reporters scramble to find the right angle of the broadcast. The air is electric with the threat of potential violence, as panicked peacekeepers eye the growing crowd of evacuating poor. Gobbet eyes start furiously. She turtles her head between her shirt. This place is hot, the cops are swarming the place, and the APB is still out on us. Yeah, it's quite a party. Looks like the press joined the party. Isabel lifts her nose towards the reporter interviewing someone from inside the walled city. Already have the hoax in someone hoping for a sound bit. The reporter wears a look of earnest concern like a coat of sipped deodorant. And is that when you started running? Yeah, it was bad in there, shooting, screaming, it was terrified. And what caused us, sir? Why are people flooding out of the walled city, injured and disarmed? The man stared at us. It's like everyone's seeing some sort of chemical like a drug lab expert or something, caused a mass hallucination. The reporter turns to the camera, pretends to check his notes. There you have it. Outward report of mass hallucination and violence caused by an explosion of an illegal drug lab. And while reporters remain sketchy, it appears that street crimes is again on the rise. He half turns and slips his arm up. As you can see, it's still turmoil and confusion here. As the police and executive council, peacekeepers respond to emergency situation, attempting to maintain order. But in all this chaos, in the maze of power, that is Kunlun Wallstay. We may never know what really happened in there. Back to you in the studio, Sunny. The light on the canoe's camera goes off and the reporter drops his vessel, ignores the bedraggled man beside him, begin picking up his equipment. What are you looking at? You know this guy was regurgitating a line of copyright bullshit, don't you? Everyone is regurgitating of a line of core crap, pal. They may not know it, but they are. Everything you see is everything you've been taught. Every officer you elect are bought and paid for the pupil pulling the strings. Yeah, well, no one's telling me what to think. No eye contact, he remains bent over his equipment. Of course not, pal. You're different. The reporter finishes packing and stands up the straight, brushing the rain of grit off the street of his hand. He does no, so his eyes now. His gaze move over your crew, flicking from the face to face. A mess that Josephine Chang never cleaned up. What? I'm not surprised. No one even remembers that she built this hall in the first place. Not that it would matter. Joe Chang holds his town by the balls. I wouldn't surprise me if she was running some kind of test in Wall City. It's like the little petri dish. Wouldn't surprise me if the whole thing blew up in her face because of the low safety standards later. The test, food, additives, body modification, pharmaceutical, whatever. Some junior executive can dream up. Nothing surprised me anymore. We can change that. Good luck, you look like just the guy to do it. And your reporter shouldn't you be trying to inform people? You are in the 2050s, part, not the 1950s. Picker. Everyone on this island knows that my news service is just a mouthpiece of executive council. Hey, if you look close enough, you'll probably find that it's owned by a member of the executive council. People buy what we feed them because the world is changing and it's scary. They feel small, they need scapegoats to blame and authority figures to tell them what to think of. My news network gives them that. And there's a prime example of authority figure. Joe Chung, resident of the executive council. Just look at her spinning this to their own end. Talking about humanitarian relief of her efforts she's mounting, you know? Go ahead and take your calm. I gonna go before the scene turns into some kind of insinuation. Hello, Auntie. Don't tell Auntie me. I lost contact with the soldiers sent on the Wild City with you. And now the Chung assets and government troops are over the place. Get over here and tell me what that right away. I'm heading back to the boat. Could use some sack time. I see you there. You better talk to Auntie Saddle. So, dann wollen wir mal. Alles hat ein Ende, nur die Wurst hat zwei. Tralalala. The commotion from the streets of Herapolis, the Kindle Chang's mayor power. 12 soldiers bustle to keep up with their boss orders. Couriers come in regularly, whispering to a lieutenant before listening intentionally and going off again. Hi ho. As you enter, Kindle Chang is giving instructions to its strangler about nuts into a justical. She looks over at you and holds it. Wait. And saying Wong and Ho to snatch some of these medical supplies off the wheel of truck. We are, with all the excitement, nobody watching them at all. She nods to herself, grimaces. There'll be a big black market for them over the next few weeks. Good think. Good thinking, Miss Shang. Bao lifts a finger to his ear to turn to the doors. When he sees you waiting, he inclines his head and crowd off an inch. I figured you were dead. Last heard my show had found you and everyone was heading into the World City. Then things got out of control. Where are my people? What happened? We got separated in the World City. Found out later that they were dead. They died for a good cause. She takes another drag of her cigar, exhales the smoke through her nose. It better be. They were expendable, not unlimited. Well, they knew they had a shot out moving up, and they missed. Forget them. I got a bigger problem. Like customers and tenants swimming out of the World City, screaming for their life. Like the HPF and Dischung secures hit heels swarming the place. Drops the stub of a cigar in her ashtray. Now tell me, what happened in there? And do I haven't? And you try to move in the big bed from another dimension. What kind? A Yama King, Queen Ya, the queen with 1,000 teeth. Never heard of her. She picks up her bottle of false spirits and stirs the label. Her rusty mean voice drops. But I know the Yama Kings. My grandmother used to tries to scare me with stories about it. I guess they thought she was teaching me something by scaring the shit of me. She chuckles softly. I remember one Yama King special. Fu Mang, the Serpent of Setting Sun. Yes, Fu Mang promised wealth and influence for those willing to do that. What was necessary? It turns, her voice turns wistful. The story of Fu Mang spoke to me. All he asked for in return were 44 hearts pulled from the chests of the closest to you while they were still alive. Hearts from random victims willing to soldiers who took Fu Mang's bargain world befriend others before taking their hearts, turning their entire network into a list of victims. Yes, Fu Mang spoke to me, but I didn't listen. Miss Strangler Bao leans in, his finger twisted. My apologies, Miss Shing, but one of the men you sent with the runners into the Wild City is still alive. He stumbles into Wong and him, who and they are pulling medical supply of a lorry. Cheng turns to you with edge in her voice. At least Ron came back alive. Our man says that Wang Lun Fat is dead. He got shut up by the HGF in the Wall City. Bauer lifts his head and next with the trap. He almost celebrating with evidence. Our is that good news? It's delicious, my darling. Wong Lun Fat was my superior in the Yellow Lotus A438. Kindly Cheng's black button eyes sparkle with it. He was also a pig. Tell our friend what that means, Bao. Wolf's smile spreads across her face, and her eyes squeeze into the crescent moon's place. And say it slow so I can savor it. The death of Wong Lun Fat has opened the spot for you to move up, madam. You could be the next 438. Bao smiles a fact. That the gods help us with sales opportunities. Mr. Bao, put every man we have onto this. spread about. Kingly Sheng says all the debts to Yellow Lotus are suspended for cities, citizens of the world city until order is restored. No interest will compound either. Tell them that I have medical supplies too, and there will be no charge for them until the crisis is over. This seems to be going your way, auntie. They do indeed, my sweet. I may not have brought Josephine Chang down, but I got my career going again. She grabs her brother and unscrews the cap with her tongue. Your career too, Mr. Brewer. You will be my new straw sandal. Good partners support another. Bao lowers his head in respect. You have proven that, Mrs. Shang. This calls for a drink. The soon-to-be free ad for pounds 2 shots and the stink of kerosene steps your nose like a switchblade. She hands a glass to Bao, touches it with her own, and toasts. Your loyalty and clear-headedness have proven invaluable. Mr. Bao, you are an effective ally. I wish you great wealth and fortune. Dip down the full substance in one year. Looks like you're moving up in the world. Yes, yes. And it appears your fortune is changing too. She pours herself another drink and leaves it sitting on him. Remember, you have a mysterious benefactor, one who lifted the APB on you. Any idea who that might be? I don't have a clue. I must admit it bothers me. It must be somebody powerful. I can't imagine it was Josephine Cheng. After all, what will her motivation be? Got to be someone else. Well, it's not like I've made a lot of friends since we hit town. I tap my network, find out if I can. But that's for that. I'm missing an entire piece of my story there. What happened at Prosperity Tower? Did you rescue Raymond Black? Did his brother? It was a hell of a fight, but we beat Shang's security, got Raymond before she could finish. Impressive. You have become quite a Shadowrunner. She lets a cigar gleam of her in her shining. While you were in Prosperity Tower, did you find any increment in Josephine's sign? Dirt something surround the Prosperity Tower. That's just too hard. Ah, this bullshit. And I don't get anything? She grabs a handful of my own and dumps it. Fine, no sense of crying over it. I have business to do. I need to focus, bring order back into the world city and prestige to the Yellow Lotus. That will cement my new position. No, before I go back to business, I must know, how did you go from rescuing Raymond Black to the world city vomiting pupil? Ray built a machine in the world city. Has accidentally summoned the big bad thing that that's when everybody ran. If the demon summoning was accident, what was this machine supposed to do in the first place? It created fortune. Your foster father created a magical fortune machine? The tribe boss cocks her head, raises the cigar to her lips. Please tell me, you have control of this device? Please tell me, you brought it to me. Nope, sorry. That's a pity. I'm sure there are plenty of who could benefit from it. Well, this business is certainly proven lucrative. I'm prime position for it, and I only lost for mine. Yeah, well, Raymond didn't make it. He sacrificed himself to stop the demon. Did he? Maybe that's what he came here to do. Everyone makes the choice, my sweet, and everyone pays the consequences, even you someday. You made quite a splash since arriving in Hong Kong. Many Shadowrunners complete in a very short time. The reports from our clients are glowing mostly. You can add a closing the door and a demon goddess to the list. We made a difference. Perhaps for a while. Listen to me, sweet. When I was a girl, it never had been a pandemic like Vistas, but in 2010 it happened. We'd never seen death like that. Quarter of the world population disappeared. It was miserable. Pushed us to the but the survivors moved on. And then the spike babies started appearing. And the dwarf babies, and suddenly there were dragons and colonization and magic, and every time the world changed, we got used to it. So if a demon goddess decided that the world city was her new living room and you didn't, whatever you did, what would have happened? Perhaps the news would cover it until the next sensation pulled their attention, but after a while it would drowned up by all the other scrap count. The demon in the world city will become the new normal. Well, the new normal is that the world city isn't under magical influence anymore. Congratulations, the poor can return to their misery, with no interference from magical machines or big bad things because of you. Now, let me give you a piece of advice for the future. My sweet, something Mr. Shane used to tell me. Respect Ghost and Scott, but keep away from them. Thank you, like you almost lost your ass in the wilds. I think you'll be in best list. No more demons from now on, Auntie. So right. She stops out her cigar, screws the top back of her bottle. No, get some sleep. You look like shit. Tomorrow we'll talk about the future. Last time you told me to go to bed, I woke up as Shadowrun. What happens when I wake up tomorrow? We get to the work, darling. Good, Mr. Bauer. She dips her finger into her empty glass, finds the last drop of liquor, brings it to her. God's help those with sized opportunities. Bauer, what's the status of our medical supplies? Na gut. The scene of the ball tour is quiet, save for the sounds of eating. The crew is crowded around Govert's electric pot plate. The cast iron pot shimmers on top and they hold bowls of soup in their hand. You recognize the smell. Chicken-style soya broth, elbow macaroni, tinned ham, and a helping scoop of egg-flavored protein. The mood is sour. You are eating? Couldn't remember the last time we ate, so we figured out that we hang out a while. And besides, no one could sleep anyway. She means me. I'm too fucked up to sleep, trying to not think about rain. Takes an enormous cup of soup, wipes his mouth with the back of his hand. They are just keeping my companion, feeding me and pretending to not to be tired, talking a bit. What are you talking about? We've been debriefing a bit. Yeah, talking about all that's going on. The thing we've been through together. Shuffles her feet a bit. Sorry about Raymond, said you too, Duncan. I was trying to do good with the machine. You two need to remember that. Wood ups his head. His words come out slowly, as if they were being force-baked. Can't believe he did it. Gave himself to the demon. I wish he was here with us now. He did what he had to do. He sips from his bowl shortfall. I guess we all did. Smelled stars over a bowl at the wall of the traveler. I was hard to believe. We defeated our god. Demon god? Covered stars as a with from another plane of his existence. Hard to believe that Josephine's shine is going to remain untarnished by the world thing. The little Decker Fester. 20 years of misery, 20 years of suffering, for tens of thousands, hundreds maybe. That's the way it is. The way the world works. Powerful playing the game and the little people pay the price. She'll just someday she has to. Who starts into the subsequent econ? But one thing does add up for me. Why was Jovicine Changsun setting us down? What will she be? So what she was responsible for? No, think about it. The HBF snipers, the plastic-faced men, they have this resource that's put into capturing Raymond and hunting us down. Means he's already covered the tracks with that illegal dual club explosion. So why not just let the Ray do this thing, cover it up and... It had to be the fortune engine itself. Yeah, I think you're right. From everything Raymond said, the key was supposed to be pulling turning toxic, but it felt something that room, a flow of positive key that I didn't accept. Gobert winkles and stares at the floor of the 12th. Think it was leaving the walled city. Bet that machine did something else, something that Raymond didn't know about. What it was Siphon? What if Josephine Sang was dealing the cast of Pacific key from the walled city, leeching it for her own benefit? Who nods at you, runs with her train off. She sealed up the fortune and leached the good key herself and took Cheng Mechanical service from the menu company raised valuable to the ballbusters to the Jotted. That's how she got herself on the executive council of Hong Kong. Of course, that's speculation. Can't prove any of it, but Josephine Chang was using Pacific key that the fortune engine was casting off. She isn't getting any more. The foster father saw to that. Wonder what's happened to her. Guess we'll have to wait and see. So what now? Maybe watch a thread, anything on? There's always something on, but it was a beggar and I got something especially. Look like shit. So I've heard. So, higher, drop your head on the pillow and hold the row naval blanket over. The bolter looks like a candle and moves that. We're wrapped in the comforting arms of the... There are no nightmares, only shadows. The story of Wild City circulates local news networks. Nearly awake, few outside of Hong Kong about the incident. After the incident, the Wild City remained blah 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 blah. Continue. So, dann würde ich mal sagen, tschüssi und bis zum nächsten Mal. Ja, bis zum nächsten Projekt, besser gesagt. Das ist jetzt zu Ende. Oh, weißt du was? Das geht jetzt noch so lange. Ist das langsam mal Ende? Klick. So geht's schneller. Kann ich gar nicht mehr lesen. Bisschen sehr schnell. Kann ich den jetzt noch mehr beschleunigen? Alter, wie lang ist das bitte schön? Ach, weißt du was? Ich beende hier die Folge. Ciao und bis zum nächsten Projekt. Tschüss.